What is up, guys? My name is Paul and welcome back to SwiftySportSA, where you join me in the next episode of The Sim Diaries. So, in today's episode, guys, I thought I'd talk you through my actual setup and how you could probably learn some tips or use some of the things I've done to make your setup more immersive. Let's get stuck in. The first thing I'd have to say is the actual rig itself. And I understand that mine is not your traditional looking rig that you get these days with a skeleton frame, but the concept is the same. I'm on a dedicated static rig. Kudos to the guy who built this years ago. You can tell this is from a previous time. It was all handmade, sturdy, strong, stable, etc. Times have changed. There's not much flexibility with this like you would get on your rig, but let me just show you a few things of what I've done. Starting off with the monitors. The monitor position, they used to be way ahead, as you can see. And, even the previous owner would say that fell too far for him. It wouldn't be immersive. He could sim race. Obviously, you'd make FOV changes, but, the level of immersion wasn't as good as this. So one of the very first things I've done is bought a brand new mount, dismantled the old style mount, and have brought the monitors about 60 centimeters closer to my eyes. And at this point they come to my peripheral, which is incredible. It's exactly what I needed. The front screen is literally sitting above the motor of the G29. I can't even stretch my hand out completely without touching the front monitor. I reckon that this monitor is about 60 centimeters, 65 centimeters away from my face. And obviously once doing all the FOV calculations, it is so immersive, especially having this in your peripheral because of the sense of speed. From there, if you look around the rig, you may have noticed, obviously here in South Africa, we actually use our shifters on the left. Our handbrake is normally on the left, not the other way around, whereas the previous owner had it all on the other side. So I'm slowly transitioning to move things across. As you can see, I've done a little bit of a DIY here. Don't be afraid to do DIY. It might not look the prettiest, but it is functional with a bit of wood and a bit of spray paint. Some, L brackets and screws. I've built a little shelf here where my shifter can go, and soon my handbrake will go too. And this works. More than sturdy, comfortable, positioned in the right place. So there we go. Then to my right, unfortunately this doesn't work anymore. Cables are cut, it's damaged. There was a sequential shifter waiting here, / probably a handbrake. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, but for me also, it's in the wrong place. So I'm going to be removing that entirely. We'll see if we could maintain some of the parts from this. Next, moving on, was the pedals. Now, if you look at my pedals, you might think, what are those? Those are unique. Well, to be honest, those are just simple Logitech G29 pedals. All I've done is remove them out of that generic plastic casing that I'm sure you all know, and have inverted them and put them onto a piece of wood, and is very, very solid. This is not going to go anywhere as it is supported by the back of the rig. Now, the reasons I did this, if you are a G29 pedal set owner, it's purely it looks incredible. It looks so sick, but let's be honest, in your car, they come down. They come from the top down. On the original G29 set, they go from the bottom up. And feel-wise, it's hard to explain, but once you do this, feel-wise, this feels exactly like my car does in real life. Clutch, brake, accelerator. It feels exactly the way it should. It's a feel thing. Also, a very important reason why I did this is you're kind of stuck with the positioning on your Logitech G29, the layout, and sometimes people's feet get caught, one shoe or one foot gets caught on the other. You could only move the faceplates on in that configuration, whereas on mine, I've positioned them exactly where I want them for the right spacing for me. In fact, I can still go widen them if I really wanted to, because I've got the room to do so. So think about that. You could probably update your G29's feel just by widening them and inverting them. Another thing I have done, guys, unfortunately I didn't have a video of any of the stuff I've done on the pedals, is in the generic Logitech G29 brake pedal, there's a spring and then there's a short little piece of rubber. That little piece of rubber, once we step on it, becomes very solid, but it kind of comes out of nowhere. So what I've done is I'll link a video to where I got this idea from. It's very clever and it works. It's a simple mod. take something like an eraser and you cut off a little piece of the eraser and you throw it into that little cylinder, so on top of the other rubber. This way your brake is not just soft, 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 hard. It is stiff, stiff, getting stiffer, getting stiffer. It feels progressive now when I push on it. And it's stiffened up the entire pedal overall, so it feels more realistic rather than that plasticky feel that we had before. The next thing on my list I have to mention is SimHub. Now, SimHub, you have to get into it. If you want to add immersion to your setup on a PC, you should be using SimHub. Anybody can use it, it's user-friendly, and guys, the best part about SimHub, it is free. Unless you want to donate and get the full version, but it's not truly required. SimHub allows you to run telemetry, run virtual dashboards, vibration, rumble, even wind blowing onto you if you have the correct fans, etc. So the two ways I'm using SimHub is, if you look to my left here, you'll notice a little Android tablet I happen to have lying around the house. Using SimHub, and there's two ways to do this. You could connect your little tablet or phone as a USB monitor, or you can run it as a display through your local network using your local IP address and the guide through SimHub. It's very simple. Now I can display my telemetry that I would like to see. Sometimes it is difficult to see what you need to see within your game. So I've displayed all the information I need on there, and it's a simple look to the left for me. I can see tire pressures, deltas, how much fuel is left in the car, etc. Everything I need there. Then I happen to have an old iPhone lying around the house, and I decided to use that on top of my steering wheel, as you can see here, as an actual dashboard. The reason I've done this is, A, it looks cool as hell, and having a physical dash in front of me. But B, guys, to be honest, because my monitors are smaller, as I mentioned in the previous video, they are 23-inch monitors. To get the correct view for me, the right field of view, but also the right positioning in the car, in the game, I started to lose sight of the actual dash in-game. So this has corrected that for me. I can see in front of me what gear I'm in, my revs, my speed, the map, important information, plus then the other information I have there. You have to do it. Right, then the next way I'm using SimHub is to trigger vibration. You might ask, how am I triggering vibration? Well, I was fortunate enough that this old rig came with surround sound. None of the speakers work anymore, cables are cut, speakers are damaged, etc. But if you look at the shape of this thing, there's a hollow gap underneath me where there's actually a subwoofer underneath my butt as we speak right now. And I have triggered that through SimHub, through a little audio card, to use vibration. Now remember, it's not triggering sound, it's looking for sound to trigger low frequencies, otherwise known as a low frequency emitter. So I've set it up to trigger vibrations on curves, certain frequencies, on when I have wheel slippage, when I hit wheel lock, when I shift gear, you feel it through the seat. It is incredible. It just adds that next level of immersion. Will this make you quicker? No, but it does feel more realistic. And I can argue that I have now learned the different types of vibrations I'm getting through this thing. So I know when my wheels are slipping. Rather than just getting feedback through the steering wheel, now I'm getting feedback through my butt. And I can translate that, and it might actually be making me quicker. You never know, but it's up the immersion. Then the last little thing I have added to this rig is, if you look up here, I've got a head tracker. A very old head tracker. I'll be going into depth in another video on that, but this allows you to almost have a virtual reality experience on triple screens. You can look around while moving around. It's brilliant. It does up the immersion. Again, I won't say that it makes you any quicker, but it feels so much more realistic. Now you combine your updated pedals, your head tracking, your vibration, your SimHub telemetry and dashboards. It's next level. It's next level. Another thing I'd like to add specifically for the G29 users for your steering wheel, especially if you're into GT racing, your paddles. We know that these are quite clicky. I mean, they're not bad, but they are quite clicky to begin with. So I've done a mod where we 3D printed a ring. I'll show you what they look like. They exist online. You can buy these ready-made. We decided to 3D print one where it sits around the steering column of the steering wheel at the back here, and has two magnets on either side touching your paddles. Now imagine those magnets are holding the paddle, then I'm releasing the paddle. What is it doing? Clunk, it has to let go. It's a bit more of a mechanical feel. All it's done is make it feel a little bit more realistic while I'm shifting gears. Cool guys, well I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to show you my rig and the little things that you could probably do to your own setup to add to the immersion if that's what you're looking for. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more sim content going forward, racing, drifting, etc., unboxing. Yeah, the list is endless. Cool guys, check you on the next video.